Hello, everyone. We are live here on Instagram for the release of my new book, Falcon's Favor. You guys, check it out. It's so exciting, and I'm so pumped for this book. It's squishy, it's warm, it's delightful. I am so pumped. So, we have people joining us, very exciting. So, good morning, A.E. Gill. For those of you who don't know, A.E. Gill and I were in a car yesterday for numerous hours, coming back from Hannibal, Missouri, from the Big River Steampunk Festival. She was there helping me, being wonderful. Thank you so much to her. Hello, Julian Loomis. It's so good to see you. Hello, Eric Asher, Scout Underhill. So many wonderful people here. Everyday Superhero is here, you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And hey, while we're here, while we're still kind of like, people are like coming in and stuff, why don't you all like kind of let me know in the comments what y'all are drinking. It is, at least I consider it still early here. It's before noon here in Nashville, Tennessee. I have my world's goodest Ryder cup, and I am just drinking my first cup of coffee for the day. I always drink a latte, because I'm just a latte kind of girl. But yeah, so let me know what y'all are drinking. Let me know where you're coming in from in the world. And yeah, that would be really great. That way we can kind of know, like, you know, check in with everybody. Preliminary sip. So good. So, always have to take a coffee break in between. So we're gonna do a couple of things today. We are going to, so Scout Underhill, they are drinking an Irish breakfast tea as usual. First one for the day. Scout, my dear friend, I love you. And I feel you on this first of the day. 11 a.m. is still early. Definitely. So first cup of the day, very necessary. And so as far as like what we're going to do today, we're just going to have a little bit of a chat. I've got some stuff I want to share kind of just about the creation of the book in general. Eric Asher, it says that that he met a reader at Dragon Con who loves my books. Oh my gosh! I'm geeking out right now. That's delightful. Thank you for sharing that, Eric. That really means a lot to me. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. I'm gonna have to DM you later and get more details because that's so sweet. I'm fine. I'm good. That is so sweet. Yay. And then Julian from Everyday Superhero podcast, which is an excellent podcast, by the way, y'all. He is on Pot of Coffee number 2, and he's about to go grab his partner Lydia. So yay for all the coffee, yay for the caffeine, you guys. We all need it. So like I said, we're gonna have a little bit of a chat. There's some stuff I want to share about the book. I'm gonna do a little bitty reading, and we're gonna do like a Q&A section. So get your questions ready. I don't know that Instagram is super great. I can scroll. So if you guys want to drop your questions into either like the Q&A box section, I don't really know how that thing works, but you can drop them in there. Or if you just want to put like a question mark in front of your question in the chat box, that'll indicate to me that it is a question. It'll help me find it really fast. So either way, whatever y'all want, if y'all want to like drop those questions in now, that's fine. If you want to like hang on to those questions, that's also fine. And then we can do them at the end after the reading and stuff. So whatever you all prefer, I will get to your questions. I've got a couple that were saved previously from folks who could not be here today. Lydia's Nerdverse just joined. Good morning, Lydia. We're just talking about like what we're drinking, where we're coming in from, kind of our agenda today. So welcome. Yeah, so like I said, questions, fully welcome. I'm so excited. And yeah, so just be thinking about those. So as far as like, just generally, like the status of everything. So I mentioned that A.E. Gill and I were in Hannibal, Missouri this past weekend for the Big River Steampunk Festival. It was amazing. It is an outdoor festival though. Ooh, weather and I do not always get along, especially wind, but I kind of feel like I like learned a bunch about tent physics over the weekend. So I'm very, very excited about having been there. I met so many amazing people. You guys, it's a really great festival. People come like in all kinds of steampunk garb. There's so much to do. There's a ton to see. And it's really, really great. It was very hot on Saturday. I was just like marinating then. But then like it kind of turned very fall and autumn, and we got like all of the autumn vibes, which was everything that I've been wanting for the last couple of weeks. These last couple of weeks of summer, you guys, they drag. So welcome, Glitter and Cat Hair. It's really nice to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, like I said, the weather was kind of a thing, but it was great. And I fully recommend, if you guys are ever interested in a steampunk con, that's a really great one. It is free to the public as well, which is really great. So really you just have to like pay for like food and lodging, and, you know, bunking up with friends is always helpful. So I know for TeslaCon this coming November, I'm rooming with like, I think 3 or 4 other girls, and we're just like cramming ourselves into a room to really save on those costs. So that's always helpful. But yeah, so Big River was so wonderful. I'm already signed up to go again next year. I've already booked my Airbnb, and I've already paid my table fee. So that's going to be really amazing. As for information about the book, you can see this is the art copy. It still has like the not for resale strip that Amazon has started doing. I hate these, but it's what Amazon does. So whatever, we deal with them. I am going to be putting in an order today for copies of this book so that I can have them with me at like future cons and stuff. And I can also send them to anybody who signed up to pre-order a signed copy. That form is still available on my link tree in Instagram and also on my website. So if you guys want to get in pre-orders for signed copies here at the last minute, totally cool, get in there. And basically what's going to happen is I'm putting in that order today. Once they arrive, I'm going to go ahead and start collecting payments and sending them out. So as soon as I have payment, I will send them out. So should be a pretty seamless system. I feel pretty good about it. So, but yeah, a couple things about this arc. This is why we always order pre-order proofs. So it's interesting when I got this, because I felt like the text on the back like needed to be like scooched over slightly, and also the barcode was just like kind of enormous. It's really big. So I was really glad that I ordered this proof, because I just needed to make a couple little tweaks, make it nice. And so those are going to look super, super great. Also, I'm so excited for y'all to meet this little dog. I'm not going to tell you any more about it other than that this little dog is in the book and I adore her. Anyway, so we're jumping around. Very exciting. Also, I want to let you all know, in addition to having books with me very soon, the next con I'm doing is in Huntsville, Alabama on the 30th of August and the 1st of October. That is at the Low Mill, I think it's just Low Mill A&E Art Center or something like that. You can't, just Google it. It's really easy to find. That's a 2-day event, and I should have books by then to sell to people, and that, oh my gosh, I'm so pumped. But in addition to the books, I'm also going to have 2 new candles that are going to be in permanent rotation in my candle lineup. So Falcon is getting his own candle, which is going to be sage and steel scented, and Keen is also going to be getting his own candle. Y'all haven't met Keen yet, unless you're one of my ARC readers. September. Scout is telling me September. What am I doing? Wait, what month are we in? We're in September right now. Oh my gosh, you're so right. Okay, yeah, September 30th. Scout, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't even know what month I'm in, y'all. Yeah, so 30th of September and October 1st. Thank you so much, Scout. Whew, you guys, time is a weird soup. I think Lydia was just posted this in her Nerdverse Discord group this morning, and I relate to it so hard. So yes, end of September, beginning of October. I totally did say 30th of August. I will be at Low Mill in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'll have the candles, I'll have the books. Oh, and Keen's candle. Like I said, you haven't met Keen yet unless you're one of my ARC readers, but you will, and he is delightful. And his candle is going to be warm spices and hospitality. So I'm really, really excited to make those. I've done like the little strip test kind of thing where you like dip some paper into your scents and kind of like waft them between your, like underneath your nose to get the sort of idea of what that candle's going to smell like. And that was such a delight to do. I went through a lot of options and it was a very, very difficult task, but they're coming. I'm basically like ready to make them this week and I'm so excited. So yeah, so candles, books, they're all gonna like be coming very, very soon. So yeah, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about just the writing of this book and like why I wrote it and all that stuff. So basically, this is for those who don't know, Falcon's Favor is a queer cozy mystery romance, and it is just full of tropes. There's the one bed trope, the forced proximity trope, the Katie Billings has just joined us. Good morning, Katie. It's so nice to see you here. For those who don't know, Katie Billings, she is the voice narrator for the audiobook version of my book, Raven's Cry, and she did a phenomenal job. So welcome, Katie. Nice to have you here. But yeah, so queer cozy mystery romance. I wrote this book during quarantine when I needed just all the happy books, all the happy TV shows. I just needed all the happy during that time. And so I just wrote this book. I just wanted something like really sweet and just warm and cozy and like a book that you could sit down in and it kind of like tucks the blanket around you and you guys just like hang out with like a cup of tea or hot apple cider or something and can just be happy together. And this book delivers all of that. And like I said, it's got loads of tropes. It's got, what is it? Let me think. We have the new in the neighborhood trope, the fish out of water trope. There's also the riches to rags trope, which I feel like I don't see a ton, which also contributes to that fish out of water trope, I always like making characters uncomfortable. I think as writers, we often, we kind of really like to stretch our characters a little bit, which seems a little bit mean, but without tension, it's not a very interesting story. So I've made Falcon very uncomfortable at parts in this book, just in that whole like riches to rags situation. And it's so delightful. So, and if you like, Nobody Dies, I'll let y'all know Nobody Dies because again, I wanted it to be a really, really feel good book. So Nobody Dies, in case y'all were curious about that. And I really just wanted a book that kind of expressed all of the things that I find warm and cozy. Oh, National GSA has joined us. Hello, good morning, and I love you too. Oh, thank you for being here. Yeah, Katie's also one of my ARC readers. She says that the book was so cozy. Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate it. So yeah, and this book just like, and like I said, there's a dog. There's a dog in the book, so it's automatically better. If a dog is in a book, it's automatically like a ton better. So, what time is it? It is currently 11:13. So I'm going to go ahead and, let me think. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to share about the book before I do my reading. There's something else that's in this book is a ton of like Victorian flower language, which is this like vast, kind of delightful but insane world of just like secret messages in flowers. The Victorians were so extra, and that's probably why I love this genre so much. Scout has agreed that books with dogs are better. Abso-freaking-lutely. In case y'all are not aware, Scout Underhill runs a online webcomic called D&Doggos about their dogs playing D&D. It is like the best thing ever. Full of dogs, full of goodness, full of sweetness. It's just, D&Doggos is such a delightful webcomic, and they have 2 graphic novels coming out in the future as well, so be on the lookout for those. But Victorian flower languages. By the way, I have some kind of neurodivergence, y'all, so we are jumping around a lot. I apologize if it's giving anybody any kind of like context whiplash. I apologize. This is just the life of Dana. But yeah, so Victorian flower language. They're so extra. I love it so much. And I have these 2 books that I wanted to share with y'all because I use these on like a daily basis while writing the book. So this one was a gift from my very good friend Nickery on Instagram. She gave this to me for my birthday a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. And it's both written and illustrated by Jessica Rue. And Jessica Rue is a local artist here in the Nashville area as well. So it's kind of like the perfect gift. Like, it's got Victorian flower language. The illustrations are just magnificent. They're so pretty. And she's got like the little description for like what the flower means. So for instance, gladiolus is one of the flowers used in my book. So there's the illustration. There we go. We got it. Oh my gosh, I just love her art so much. It's so freaking beautiful. And gladiolus, for instance, the meaning is you pierce my heart. And oh my gosh, like I love the drama of it. In Latin, gladiolus translates to sword. There's so much good information in this book, and it's beautiful. I highly recommend it if you're at all interested, or if you just want like a really great coffee table book. So I use that on a daily basis. And then I also use this book, The Language of Flowers by Beverly Seton History. And I'm not sure you can even get this book in e-format. I like a lot of reference books that I have to be available, like on Kindle and stuff, just because then I can like do a Control F find for if I'm looking for something specific. And I do have several other Victorian flower language books on my Kindle for that very reason. But this one has a really interesting like chart that it just goes across the entire page, which doesn't really lend itself to an ebook. So like I said, I'm not even sure you can get this electronically. But I use this basically every single day as well. I would do a lot of cross-referencing because for like in some situations a flower could mean like one thing, and then in like another situation it might mean something different. So this book also like cites different sources. These are all different like authors and sources and stuff, and like what each of those sources said the flower meant. So there's like a ton of cross-referencing as to like what did like most people think this flower represented, kind of thing. So I would do a lot of that, a lot of cross-referencing. And if there was like a lot of like common threads between them, that's the kind of flower I would choose for a certain scene and whatnot. Like I said, y'all are going to see Victorian flower language all throughout this book. So just a little bit behind the scenes look into that bit of research. And like I said, it's a lot. I love the Victorians. Like I said, they're so extra. Like for the next book, I'm going to be looking up Victorian funeral traditions, and their funereal traditions are just as insane. Like there's so many things. Like women had to wear black for like a year. It's all kinds of crazy. But I won't digress into that because that's the next book. And right now we're focusing on this one, Falcon's Favor. The Chris O'Hearn just joined us. Hello, the Chris O'Hearn. Lovely to see you here. Thank you for joining. So like I said, if you guys want to drop any questions in the Q&A box, that's totally cool. If you want to like hang on to your questions until after the reading, that's fine too. And then also if you want to go ahead and drop them in the chat, that's cool. Just if you could just put a little question mark in front of that so I can like scroll back through and I can very easily see, oh, that's a question. Cool. So we're going to do that next. But first, I'm going to go ahead and do a little reading from the book. And this is from chapter 6. And the only context you need to know for this segment is that Falcon and Keen's house was robbed. That's all you need to know so far. And so, chapter 6 of Falcon's Favor. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's what Falcon and Keen had both said when they'd realized there was now only one bed in the entire house. And it mostly was fine. In fact, Keen was downright blasé about the entire affair. His only follow-up question had been which side Falcon preferred. If he'd grown up on the lower end of middle class, Keen's background was still a subject they hadn't broached. It was possible he'd had to share a bed with siblings. And though Falcon had never had to share a room with anyone, much less a bed, he had to share close quarters with other enforcers during stakeouts, during which 2 or more of them often had to squash inside a hansom or hide just inside the mouth of an alley for hours at a time. What Falcon was not used to, however, was being awoken in the middle of the night to the dim light of an oil lamp. Not just the light, though, but the feel of someone shifting next to him and a soft, semi-regular clicking noise. It took Falcon's groggy brain a moment to remember what had happened that day, and he turned over, grabbing his cane from beside the bed as he went. This was before he realized the thieves would have to have heads made of melons to return to the scene of the crime. Instead of melon-headed rapscallions, he found himself looking up at Keene, who was wielding nothing more dangerous than a ball of yarn and a pair of knitting needles. Keene was looking back down at Falcon with the definitive, "Oops," written across his countenance. "Sorry," he said. The "oops" expression flattened into a grimace. "You were sleeping so soundly, I didn't think I'd wake you." Falcon warmed as an image of Keene watching him sleep floated across his mind's eye. Then, slowly, slogging through the clearing cobwebs of consciousness, he levered his elbow beneath him to lean his head on his hand. "Everything all right?" Falcon asked. Keene gave a shrug that was nowhere near as easy as his usual manner. "Knitting helps me think." "And what are we thinking about?" Falcon asked. He hadn't meant to sound as playful as he had. Sleepiness made his mind bleary. In return, Keene gave a small but equally playful smile. "You're certainly right to say we." That woke Falcon up a bit more, and he pushed himself up to a sitting position. "Why is we right? Why am I right?" "So proper," Keene teased before setting his knitting down. He took a moment to count his stitches, nodded approvingly, and said to himself, 27. Then he squared a look at Falcon. "I want in on solving the crime." "What? No, absolutely not. I'm not trying to do that." Falcon couldn't have been more unconvincing if he'd been wearing an oversized, steam-powered badge that spun and puffed smoke when he lied. And, in the case of this humongous fib, it would have exploded in a tiny fireball. In addition to his flub just now, Falcon had already outed his intent several times over. Every time he told Keene, in one way or another, to preserve the evidence. Or the way Falcon had muttered theories and thoughts to himself while he'd recorded the details of the crime into his notebook. Keene fixed him with a dubious look, but had the decency not to decry what a terrible liar Falcon was. Instead, he pointed at the small stack of bits that Falcon had collected over that afternoon and evening. "I see what you're doing. You're building your case. Every mystery novel hero does it." Falcon tried to shoot back a withering glare, but what always came out when he tried this tactic, wouldn't have even made a parched daisy wilt. He couldn't bring himself to lie again, though. Not just because he knew he was rubbish at it, but also because he realized he didn't want Keene to start thinking that was his fallback mode of operating. And that certainly wasn't who Falcon wanted to be either. So instead, Falcon said, I'm not letting you put yourself at risk like that." And he immediately hated himself for it. Stars, he sounded pompous. "Not letting me," Keene chortled. "What do you think I am? Some swooning dandy?" He then melodramatically pressed the back of his hand to his forehead and wailed, "Heavens, why? Why couldn't they have left me my fainting couch? What am I without a couch upon which to perform my many oodles of feints?" Keene then proceeded to fling himself across Falcon's legs, the very picture of delicate nerves brought low by ne'er-do-welliness. And that is a little preview of Chapter 6. GMA Krista has just joined us during that reading. Hello, Krista. Nice to see you. I also got to see Krista over the weekend at Big River, and it was so nice. We actually got to hang out a little bit and just chat. It was delightful. So I'm so excited for this book. That little snippet that y'all just heard is a really good representation of just the tone of this book. It is silly. It's fun. Like, it's a little bit, it's very much a rom-com, in every way, shape, and form. It's very flirty. So flirty. And I just adore it so much. So yeah, we will go ahead and do, like a question and answer kind of thing. Scout said that that section was very cute, and I really appreciate that, Scout. Thank you. I also love it. Lydia has said, I want Keen to be my new best friend. Oh, I want Keen to be my new best friend too. Did you know that Keen is an amazing cook? He spends like the entire book cooking all of these delicious things, and he runs a catering business. Like, he's trying to like make it on his own as an entrepreneur. I want Keen like to be my best friend so bad as well. Believe me. So yeah, we'll do a little question and answer now if you guys want. And also I have, like I said, I have a couple loaded up from people who were not going to be able to join us. Okay, so go ahead and get those ready. Oh, Krista has said that she truly enjoyed chatting. Wish we'd had more time. Me too. One day, maybe TeslaCon, because you mentioned you're going to be there, and like there'll be time to like hang out. It's gonna be great. She also wanted to say, also to everyone, Keen and Falcon are absolutely amazing. Oh, thank you, Krista. I really appreciate that. I think so too. They're such a sweet couple. I love them so much. I'm not giving anything away by saying they get together. Like, it's a romance. You guys know what you're in for. So anyway, question and answer time. The first question that we have is going to be from Serena Langer Writer. If you guys travel in some of the same Instagram circles that I do, you know Serena and I are good friends. We read each other's books. I just read one of Serena's, I got to beta read Serena's latest release. So it's really sweet that she was able to kind of drop in, even though she's not here right now. So Serena has said, as you know, I adore this book and your boys. First of all, thank you. Me too. And she's asked, what was your favorite scene to write in Falcon's favor? This is always such a funny question because like there's so many fun scenes. There's a very flirty scene where they're talking about chickens. That was delightful. Of course, some of the saucier scenes, shall we say, are always really fun. But honestly, like, I think my favorite scene, and this is very petty, my favorite scene writing this was, there's a scene where Keen is trying out a new recipe, and he has Falcon come try it. And he's making these, like, little lemon pond canapes. And the thing is, this scene was inspired by an episode of The Great British Bake Off, where Paul Hollywood had the contestants make Victorian lemon pond puddings, which are absurd. This was so mean of him. I was like genuinely offended on behalf of the participants. So to make a lemon pond pudding, you boil an entire lemon like inside of a crust, and the idea is like you cut into it, and then like all like the lemon juice and sugar like pool out onto your plate, and that's like the pond part of the lemon pond pudding. This is such a ridiculous dessert, and it's just so mean that he like had them do this. Like, everyone failed. It was really terrible, and I just felt really bad for the participants. So I wrote this scene as kind of a reaction to that, because Keen mentions that lemon pond puddings are ridiculous. And so like this is kind of like my little like just petty jab back at Paul Hollywood for making the participants do this. And also I kind of want these canapes now because they sound really tasty, and that is one of the things that when you write food you get cravings and you're like, oh, I want that now. And I don't know anyone who makes it. I don't even know how to make it. Like, I didn't develop this recipe. But oh well. Maybe one day somewhere someone will make it and I'll be able to try it. All right, so we also have, let's see here, National GSA has asked, what was your favorite part of writing this book? Oh my gracious. That's such a good question. I think just writing Keen and Falcon's relationship, because this book also addresses just like toxic masculinity and just kind of the horribleness that comes with that. So like writing their relationship was was really nice. So there's a part where basically like Falcon seems to think that he's sort of like living a hero's journey and he has to like do it himself alone. And Keena's like, why? Why do you have to do it like that? And it just like totally knocks Falcon off guard. And so just those moments where we kind of take like this, you know, that rigid idea of like what it is to be a man. And it's like, no, this can take many forms. Like this is going to be okay. And so just like writing there, just warm, cozy, safe, loving relationship, was a huge delight in creating this book. Let's see here. Oh, Natural GSA also asked, how gay is this book? This book is the gayest. This book is so delightfully gay. It's just beautiful and wonderful. And oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it so much. Also, I do have it like in the background, a genderqueer character. You see them in the clothing shop, but if you haven't read the other books, you'll probably miss it. So fun fact, Chrysalis is genderqueer in the books. That's sort of like a quiet development that has happened in some of the other books. So there's that as well, as far as delightful gayness. And let's see, what else do we have? It's a pretty small cast of characters. So I think those are like the biggest and brightest and whatnot, but I've always had queer characters in my books. Never this prominent, and I am delighted to like have queer characters like coming out, pun entirely intended, like in full prominence in my books. It's a little bit representative of my own journey in like realizing my own queerness and whatnot, of like, oh, this is just gonna be like a quiet thing in the background, and then like me running out of F's to give more and more, and then being like, no, we're gonna talk about it. Like we're gonna be very loud about it. So it's kind of a beautiful journey in several respects. Scout said, LOL, National GSA asking the important questions. Absolutely right. Very, very important questions. Dorothy Emmeline, author, has just joined us. Hello, Dorothy. Lovely to have you. So yeah, if y'all have any other questions, like I said, just drop them in the thing. I've got one here, and by the thing, I mean, either in the chat or the Q&A, either one, just let me know. All right, so here we are. Scout has asked, what's my favorite flower from the book? And if that's not a spoiler. And then if it is a spoiler, then what is my favorite flower? Okay. Neither of these are spoilers, so that's fine. My favorite flower from the book, man, there's a lot to choose from. But while I was doing my research, I kind of fell in love with hawthorn. Let me find it in here, because it's like all the illustrations. It's beautiful. But I learned so much while doing the flower research. Just so many different flowers that I didn't realize had all of this like deep meaning behind it. Here we are. So hawthorn looks like that. Ta-da! And hawthorn means hope. It can also mean, I think, like renewed friendships or like new friendships. So it's like, hope, renewed friendships, just all these like beautiful positive things that I kind of just like was really, really like feeding off of and needing during the time, like I said, I wrote this book during quarantine. So during that time, like just hawthorn really represented like all of these things that I needed right now. So that's a really great question, Scout. Thank you so much. And as for my favorite flower, I think my favorite flower has sort of changed over time. I used to really, really love lilies, especially tiger lilies. I like a spotted flower. Spotted flowers just always are really pretty to me. As far as my favorite now, I do really like Gerbera daisies. I love their bright colors. They're always like really, really happy. I do feel a little bit like I'm stealing from my older sister though, because Gerbera daisies are her favorite. And you know, there's like thing with siblings is like, oh no, you're stealing from me. You're copying me. And so like, I'm not trying to do that. But yeah, I don't know. Do I have a favorite? That's such a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. Like I said, I do love lilies. Lilies are beautiful. And they just, like, there's so many different kinds of lilies as well. They're kind of like people. They all have different shapes and sizes and, you know, blooms in different ways and all that kind of stuff. So lilies might still be up there for me, but just sort of the general family of lilies. That's a really great question. Thank you so much, Scout. All right, so Everyday Superhero Headquarters, which hosts the Everyday Superhero podcast, has asked, writing a scene based off of your reaction to watching Great British Bake Off is 100% surviving quarantine. I love it. Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. There was a lot of Bake Off, like reruns and stuff. There was a lot of like rewatching favorite shows during that time and everything. All the feel-good shows. I watched Centaur World 7 or 8 times. And I know that was a little bit like past quarantine because I actually first watched it with Scout, like when we were able to sort of start coming back together and things. Because they saw it first and they were like, I feel like Dana would like this. And so we watched it and I was immediately hooked. That is an extremely silly but very positive show. It's really sweet and kind. So I watched that like 7 or 8 times. And also Ted Lasso was really great during that time too. And it's so funny because Ted Lasso is so not like the sort of show that seems like it would be me, because the premise, if you're not familiar, is basically like an American amateur football coach moves to the UK, he moves to England in order to coach a professional soccer team. And I don't like sports. I'm sorry. I'm not a sportsy person at all. And like, so none of that sounds very good to me. And of course, a lot of like sportsy shows have that like ultra masculine, like toxic stuff going on as well. And there's often like very like strict gender roles and stuff, but no, Ted Lasso is like so positive. He's so kind. He's so like, is like, screw this whole toxic masculinity thing. Like, we are going to be kind. We are going to be positive. We're going to put like just goodness into the world. I love Ted Lasso so much. I'm still waiting on the next season. It's coming soon, or so I'm told. They're keeping it under wraps. I don't know when it's coming. So yeah. These excellent feel-good shows, Ted Lasso. Schitt's Creek, of course, was also a huge show for me to watch. I just finished another rewatch of that show. I mean, oh my gosh, Schitt's Creek is just so funny and delightful. My husband Mike never really glommed onto it because he doesn't really like awkward humor, and there is a good bit of awkward humor in that show. So yeah, that's always really good. So yeah, I think all of these are just like good, comforting shows that I was just like binging so much, like just during all of these hard times we've had of late and whatnot. So yeah, I'm trying to focus on like all the positives because I'm not trying to bring the room down. It was a rough time. So yeah. Any other questions? Let's see. Like I said, y'all just drop them in the chat or whatever you like. So yeah, I don't have any more for right now. So I'm just going to keep talking a little bit about the book then until more come in. So yeah, I also, let's see. I expect to have the books, for those of you who have pre-ordered signed copies. I expect to have them in about 2 weeks, hopefully. The print world right now is, oh my gosh, it's struggling. The world of print is on the struggle bus. Lydia's Nerdverse just released a book as well, and I think those are coming as well. And Lydia, I don't know if you've dealt with the same problems that like some authors have. Thankfully, I haven't had any like really huge problems of late, but I've heard horror stories recently of just like people getting like the wrong book sent to them and stuff. I don't know what the deal is. Just supply chain issues, just like everywhere. It's just causing a lot of issues with like the print industry. A year ago or so, there was an actual paper shortage, which was really weird. But yeah, like I said, I hope to have these in about 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. The candles, honestly, I could have them made like this week. My Etsy shop is currently closed down because like I traveled like a ridiculous amount over the last month and a half. Over the last month and a half, I was in Michigan for Once Upon a Book, and then I came home, and 3 days later, I left for a cruise to Alaska. So I was in Alaska and also visited Canada, and we started off in Seattle, Washington during that time. And then I came back, and 3 days later, I went to Pennsylvania for the Key City Steampunk Festival. And that was really great and wonderful. I love Key City. They put on a great event. And then after that, I was in Virginia for a little less than a week, staying with my family and visiting them, because it's been a hot minute since I visited the family. And then I was back. And then like a week and a half later, I went to Missouri for the Big River Steampunk Festival. And that was 4 days long, and also outside. So then I just got back in like 10:30 last night. So it's been a little bit wild. So that is why my Etsy shop is currently closed down. I was not able to do any updates. Like I just did not have time to do anything with that. So I also hope in the next 2 weeks or so to be like updating that, getting new photos, like putting merch in there again, and having like the new Falcon and Keen candles put up in there. All of that stuff. So we will see. I only have one fetch candle left, which was up in the Etsy shop. I'll probably keep that in there, just because I do have the one left to send, or that I could send out if somebody wanted to order it. But just FYI, that one was a limited run thing I did as an experiment, so I don't know when that one's going to be coming back. So many things happening. I'll probably write the next book possibly during NaNoWriMo. I'm probably going to spend the next couple of weeks writing some short stories that I have thought up to do. So let's see. I've contracted with a new steampunk festival that is starting up in April. That is the Telltale Steampunk Festival in Baltimore, Maryland. It is very Poe related. Y'all, I need a coffee break. Give me just one moment. Delicious coffee, y'all. So, as I was saying, it's the Telltale Steampunk Festival is very like Poe centric, and so I've contracted with them to write a steampunk short story, like no more than 5,000 words, about a raven, because they're going to have like 13 ravens all around the con, and like they'll have QR codes where you can scan it and then like get the story behind that raven, or get a story that's behind that raven. Like when I was talking with the organizers about this, I was like, hey, FYI, I already have a book where a woman is cursed to transform into a raven by day. Could that just be the character? And they were like, yeah, that's great. So I'll be working on that short story, and thinking about what I wanted to do for that story kind of gave me an idea for another one that I want to write. So I'm just going to write that one for me, my VIP newsletter subscribers, and I'll have an audio version of that out eventually for hopefully very soon, because it's a very spooky story and it'll be really good for Halloween. So hopefully I'll have that out in the next 2 months or so. Oh no, Scout has said they've run out of tea. Oh dear. You must refill. Go get your caffeine. Yeah, y'all, re-up on your caffeine if you need it. Yeah, I understand the struggle. I will not be offended. So I'll probably just spend the next couple of weeks writing some short stories. I also started a very, very silly short story that I've never finished, in the Broken Gears world, based on real life events in one of my best friend's lives, about a missing promissory note. So that will be coming out as well. So if you are a VIP newsletter subscriber, you should be getting some new short stories soon, which is very exciting and whatnot. So yeah, lots of things are going to be in the works. And then hopefully during NaNoWriMo, I'll write the draft for the next book as well. But we'll see, because I'm also doing TeslaCon in November, and that same friend whose life that story is based on, is coming to visit for 3 weeks. So we'll see if that actually happens. For those who don't know, NaNoWriMo is the National Novel Writing Month, and where the goal is to write 50,000 words in 30 days. It's a lot. I've done it several times and it's great, but it is extremely intense. It's such an intense time. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens, but that's down the road. And we are still talking about Falcon's Favor. So yeah, I think we're probably going to close up. It's been about 45 minutes, unless anybody has any last minute questions. I'm going to go ahead and check the question and answer box. Nope, there we go. Oh, I'm moving my phone. Sorry guys. I don't mean to make you feel like you're on a rocking ship. Sorry, I'm going to fix this real quick. Apologies, friends. There we go. Okay, that's better. So yeah, had to move that really quick. I apologize for like where the light is positioned as well. That's probably not great. There we go. Can't do that. There we go. That's much better. Ta-da! Technical issues abound. Da-da. But yeah, so if anyone has any other questions, just drop them in there. Beyond that, like I said, Falcon's Favor is out today. So excited. So you can get your copy anywhere that you can buy books. So that's, Amazon or your favorite local bookshop. Or, if you're in Italy, there's an Italian marketplace for that. All kinds of places. The link is in my Instagram link tree. It's also on my website. Links are everywhere. You can get it in any format except for audio so far. The audiobook is in process. I actually have some stuff to preview that my audiobook narrator just sent to me yesterday or perhaps the day before. Time is a weird soup. So the audiobook is in process and will be coming out in the near future. So that's very exciting. Scout is asking a question. What am I looking forward to this week? Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to Celebration Sushi and Bubbly. That's always the thing I do to celebrate like a big event, like a book release. So there's going to be Celebration Sushi. There's going to be Bubbly. I am also looking forward to sleeping because, like I said, I got in at 10:30 last night and then had to get up and do all the book release things. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to sleeping. There's a spot on the couch that's calling my name. I might even take a nap. Those who know me know that I don't always like taking naps. I feel a little like a zombie after the fact, but it might be necessary today. So yeah, books are everywhere. The audiobook is coming. It's going to be great. I'll be online basically all day. So if y'all have any other questions that you forgot about or anything, hit me up. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. I'll be posting this on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the places. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all being here. You guys are all just wonderful, and I just love you all, and thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I hope that good things come your way, and that good people find you, and that you find them. Yes, Krista, I will see you at TeslaCon in Wisconsin. Good luck getting back to work. Thank you so much for being here. All of you, just best wishes for all of you, whatever your week brings along the way. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping me celebrate Falcon's Favor. And take care. Love you all. Bye.